How's everyone doing today? Quick little podcast today. We're just going to be discussing the news today, the breaking news actually. Cleveland Cavaliers have found their new coach, as well as the Los Angeles Lakers have officially found their new coach. As we know, Luke Walton was a previous coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, and now we have Frank Vogel replacing Luke Walton as coach. Vogel has agreed to a 3-year contract. And for those of you that do not know, Frank Vogel he is a former coach of the Orlando Magic and the Indiana Pacers. He coached the Magic the year before this previous year. Steve Clifford was the coach of the Magic that just made the playoffs of this previous Magic team. And the 2 years before that, it was Frank Vogel. And for those of you, I'm sure you know, the year back in 2014 when Paul George dunked on Chris Anderson in the playoffs when it was the Indiana Pacers versus the Miami Heat. And in that series and also in that year, Frank Vogel was the coach of the Indiana Pacers during that span. I think he coached the Pacers during that span, and during his time with the Pacers, they made the playoffs and everything. So it's going to be interesting to see what and how LeBron responds to Frank Vogel being the coach. And also in other news, not in other news, but also adding into those news, the Lakers have officially hired Jason Kidd as prominent assistant coach. I read some articles and they're saying that Jason Kidd is serving as the insurance for Frank Vogel, or also basically as a backup plan. You know what I'm saying? Jason Kidd is basically the what if Frank Vogel don't work out plan. You know, if LeBron doesn't because we know, come on guys, let's just be real. When LeBron doesn't like a coach, when he gets to a new team, if he doesn't like that coach, somehow, some way that coach end up disappearing or getting fired. Not disappearing, but basically getting fired. So it's going to be interesting to see how Frank Vogel clashes with LeBron James and how they come together, because Frank Vogel, Frank Vogel is a defensive-minded coach. So I believe he's going to bring that defensive mindset to this Los Angeles team that struggled on the defensive end at times. They were able to score, but they just struggled to stop other teams from scoring. So it's going to be good to see him bring that defensive mindset. But at the same time, I don't think he's going to submit to the authority or just the large character that LeBron has when it comes to at times being a player coach or a coach player. So it's going to be interesting again. And like I said, I think I agree with the critics. Unfortunately, if Frank Vogel does not work out, Jason Kidd will be the head coach in the next 2 years or 3 years. This contract is only for 3 years. So if it doesn't work out, Jason Kidd will definitely be the next head coach. Regardless, to me, in my personal opinion, Jason Kidd was not a great coach. He did coach the Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks. And to me, it's no surprise that right after Jason Kidd was let go from the Brooklyn Nets, that they flourished. And well as for the Milwaukee Bucks, right after they let go of Jason Kidd, they flourished as well. Both teams made the playoffs after, moving on from Jason Kidd. So it's no surprise there. And that's just evidence and that's just proof that Jason Kidd was just not that great of a coach. He was a great player. He won the championship with the Dallas Mavericks, beating Miami. And, he has one championship to his belt. And he has many, he went to the finals back in the day with the New Jersey Nets when he played for the Nets. But, Jason Kidd, he's a great player, great passer. But great floor general. But when it comes to being a coach, his first 2 go-arounds, we'll just say that his first 2 go-arounds as coach did not go as planned. It did not go well at all. So it's going to be interesting to see, just how Vogel because Vogel did not. Here's the thing: Vogel did not pick Jason Kidd to be his coach. The Lakers organization picked Jason Kidd to be his assistant coach, because normally when a head coach is hired, he's able to bring in his own crew, his own assistant coaches, and his own staff, basically. So in this case, the Lakers did not give Vogel permission to pick his own staff. They actually picked it for him, or so far they've picked Jason Kidd for him. And we're going to see how that goes and, who else they pick. As we know, Tyronn Lue was the lead position. He was in the lead to get this job, but Tyronn Lue wanted a 5-year contract. He wanted 2 more years more than LeBron was going to be there. And Lakers they were basically trying to hire a coach only for LeBron, only while LeBron is there, because LeBron, as we know, only has 3 years left on his contract, and the Lakers only wanted to hire Tyronn Lue only for 3 years. And Tyronn Lue did not like that. He didn't want to accept that, so he moved on. And again, they found their guinea pig in Frank Vogel, and he accepted the 3-year deal and the 3-year task, 3-year challenge of being LeBron's coach. So it's going to be, interesting again to see how it works out. And yeah, man, it's just going to be interesting. In other news as well, as I said previously, the Cleveland Cavaliers, to me, this one is a more exciting hiring. The Cleveland Cavaliers have hired former Michigan head coach John Beilein, I may be pronouncing it wrong. And the Cavs have gave John Beilein a 5-year deal. He's even expected to be with the front office and ownership in Chicago during the draft lottery, which is good. Beilein replaces Larry Drew, who finished last season after Tyronn was fired after 6 games into the season, even though Tyronn Lue won the championship with the team in 2016. So I like this move. I like this move more so than the Lakers move, and the reason why I say that is because the Lakers, honestly, they could have hired Mark Jackson. They could have hired Jeff Van Gundy. They could have hired J.B. Bickerstaff. They could have hired, all of these people that are on the market, and here they are hiring Frank Vogel, which again is fine, but I think there were better options to me. There were better options to pick from because, even though this league is about the players, and we know that some players run the team, the coaches' systems and the coaches, the coach's system and the structure for how the team plays is very vital. So I'll just leave that alone. But I like this move more for the Cleveland Cavaliers because for those that watch college basketball, John Beilein, man, this guy, he's a great coach. He's definitely a great coach. He's been coaching for 39 years. Let's clear this up right now. He's been coaching for 39 years, but he's been coaching the University of Michigan for the past 12 years. And what I love about this move is that if you look at the progression of this Michigan former coach, Mr. Beilein, Mr. John, he has progressed. No matter what team he's on, he always rises in the ranks. Collegiately, the collegiate ranks, he always rises through the ranks, and he always moves forward. He always moves. Whatever team he lands on is forward. Whatever he touches is gold, basically, is what I'm saying. So it's going to be a great move. And one of the big things that Kobe Altman, who is the Cavs general manager, one of the biggest things that he said that he loves about John is that he's innovative. He's one of the most accomplished, and I'm quoting, John is one of the most accomplished and innovative basketball minds and leaders in the entire game. He has a unique ability to create an outstanding culture that will promote the development of young players and provide a solid structure to the entire program, not to mention the fact that John Beilein wins everywhere he goes. This is from out of the mouth of the general manager of the Cavs. He has high praise for Coach John, and he's even calling Coach John a culture innovator. A culture innovator, man. That's pretty big. Coming from the general manager. That's pretty big. That's pretty big. And another thing that Dan Gilbert, Cavs owner, Dan Gilbert says that, and I quote, he said, "First, John is a great human being. He cares deeply about his players and others who work for him and around them. He defines the words class, integrity, and character. He is a tireless worker who obsesses about finding better ways and the inches that will help his team and the organization grow. John is a brilliant basketball player, and last but not least, John Beilein is a winner." And this is from the words of again, the owner, Dan Gilbert himself. So I'm excited because, as we know, culture driver. I'm sorry, I said something else, but the Cavs are basically saying that they're using the term that Coach John is a culture driver, which, man, that's unbelievable that they're saying that. But Coach, again, this guy, he's been nothing but successful in the collegiate league. Overall, his record is 799 wins. His losses is 461 over his span of 39 seasons as a college coach. Particularly only in Michigan, he won 278 games, only lost 150, which is not bad. And as during his tenure with the Wolverines, the Michigan Wolverines, they made it to the NCAA championship twice, but they lost both times. The first time they lost was in 2013 against Louisville, and then the second time was previously against Villanova in 2018. And with Michigan, he won 2 Big Ten titles, and he also won 2 Big Ten tournaments. So again, he's 65 years old. I think that's the only downside. But other than that, he does great with young players. And as we know, Cleveland Cavaliers are in the rebuilding stage. And I love who they have as their core. Colin Sexton from out of the University of Alabama, man, Young Bull, that's his nickname, and he reminds you of a young John Wall. Honestly, he reminds you of a young John Wall with his athleticism and his speed. And I'm excited about what Cleveland is doing, even though they're not going to be contending for a championship for a while, but just to see them moving in the right direction, it's always exciting to see a team trying to take the proper steps and move into the right direction. And then we also know that they have Cedi Osman, who's balled out ever since LeBron has left. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the Cavs move and prayerfully move in the right direction, because to me, I take excitement when I see teams try to build a culture, and not only build a culture, but just build build a culture, build a winning culture, a winning team. Like the Sacramento Kings, they were in the rebuilding process, and now they almost made the playoffs this year with Darren Fox, and you also have they traded Justin Jackson, but you have Darren Fox, and then you have Colliston at the center, and they have young talent on that team, and I think Darren Fox is definitely the spearhead of that team. So I don't want to get on the ramble because I can talk about young talent all day, but I'm excited about these two moves. I'm more excited about the Cavs than I am the Lakers, because the Lakers, as we know, the Lakers are in a win now situation. They have one of the greatest players in the game in LeBron James for the next 3 years. And if they don't come away with the title, this is going to be one of the most disappointing times for the Los Angeles Lakers, because LeBron James is a superstar. And there's not too many superstars that have put on a Los Angeles Lakers uniform that did not deliver a championship to the city. So there's big expectations, big hopes, big aspirations for this Los Angeles League. So I'm hoping that Frank Vogel and LeBron James can coexist, because LeBron, man, he's the mogul of the NBA. He's the coach, he's the player, he's the entrepreneur, he's everything, man. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. And again, the Cavs, I'm excited because we know that there are a lot of coaches out there that have used to coach college, university, and have moved on to coaching in the NBA. Using that as an example, Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens used to coach the same university that Gordon Hayward came out of. He used to coach, I can't think of the team right now. Let me think. Who did he used to coach? I don't even remember. What team? Let me think. Okay, well, I can't think right now. But it's basically the team that Gordon Hayward came from. So Brad Stevens used to coach in college. Basically, that's what I'm saying. He used to be a college coach, and look at him now, doing pretty good. He's doing real good actually for the Celtics. So overall, I'm rambling now. This has been another episode or another podcast of Be Bold Sports, bringing you live news, live coverage, and breaking news and breaking coverage as it comes, not only for the NBA, but also for college and, for basketball, sports in general. So thank you guys for tuning in, And until next time, man, this is Bebo Sports, and I appreciate you guys for tuning in.